Hello everybody, welcome to Project Beauty, where we talk about project panning and everything beauty related. My name is Jen. I had done an eyeshadow look in a couple of my videos, and I had a number of people reach out about the look and wanted a tutorial, and I'm still in shock because, you know, I have fun with eyeshadows, but it's incredibly just heartwarming and surprising when you get the compliments and, you know, the acknowledgement on a look that you've done. So for me, that was a huge compliment, and I have been smiling ever since, and I've been so excited to do the look for you guys. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that look that everyone's been asking for, with a few exceptions. So I used my Vice 4 by Urban Decay. This is my Pan That palette for the year. So that's the eyeshadow palette that I used. My son is playing in here, so if he makes noise, sorry, you'll just have to deal with it because he's my boy and I'm not kicking him out right now. Maybe a little bit later, but not right now. I used the dark purple and then these two colors here in the look for the main portions of the look. But because this is such an old palette, you can't get it anymore, and I would definitely not request that you guys go hunting one down because it's already expired. I'm going to use a couple of other eyeshadow palettes and hope to God it works out. It should be okay because the colors are incredibly similar, but the formulas are different, but it should work out really well. So the first one I'm going to use is the Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette from Huda Beauty. And this one has the nice deep dark color, the deep purple shade. It's actually a shimmer as well, same with the one that's in the other eyeshadow palette. It's a nice deep shade, so we can definitely use that in the outer corner and to blend out that outer corner as well. It also has the matte purple shade, which is relatively deep, and if I really want to, I can also add a black to deepen up that outer corner, but I'm going to try and keep it as similar to the original as possible, but I'm really glad that this one has the two deepest shades in it. And then I'm also going to use my ABH Norvina, and I really hope you guys own these. If you do, that's great. You'll be able to achieve the look that I am doing. Again, I'm not saying go out and run and buy a bunch of eyeshadow palettes if you don't have these. I'm sure you have similar colors in your collection that you can go ahead and grab. So this is the inside of this, and of course it's mainly purples and kind of like warmer purples for the most part, which is exactly what these ones are. These are more warm purples. They're more like raspberry purples. This one's kind of like a duochrome, but the duochrome isn't that strong. And then the other one's more like a mid to deep tone, like raspberry purple. So I'm going to use a couple of the shades in here, and yeah, we'll just swatch and see. So I think because these ones are more matte, I think this one might be good for the brighter one for the inner portion of the lid, so I'll probably use that one, which is the shade E3 in the palette. And it's kind of flaky, so just be careful when you're applying. I don't do the bottom part of my face, that's why I barely have any makeup on. I will need done from like the eyebrows up kind of thing. Because I always do my upper forehead first, then my forehead first, then I do my eyes, and then I do the rest of my face, and then I finish off my eyes after, because I want to make sure that I'm not getting a bunch of flakes or anything on my already completed face. And then I just have to think back at how I did this now. The deeper purpley shade, I don't think that there's one incredibly similar, and this one's really dark. It's very close to that other shade, so we may use a mixture of those two, or I might not even use the Norvina or the Anastasia one at all and just use those two, because they're very similar to the Urban Decay one already. And for the mid-tone shades, I'll probably end up using this matte purple, even though the other colors are very strong shimmers. It's okay to like throw a little bit of matte in there. Actually, I would honestly prefer it. There's this one, but it's way too light, but we'll probably end up using that on maybe the inner tear duct or something. There's so much things that you can do with this Norvina palette. Like, as I look at this, I'm just thinking how many eyeshadows I can actually play with to create this look. So really happy about that. I really want to go ahead and just get started. So let's just start applying the makeup. One more thing I forgot to mention is you will also need Diamond Flakes, and these ones are from Vani Cosmetics. I definitely recommend that you check out Vani Cosmetics on the internet, like on the website, and have a look at theirs, because I bought a bundle of these. I can't remember, I think it was it $60 or something like that Canadian, $50 something Canadian, but these are the flakes that I used, and they're just so beautiful. They have a flip of like purple, blue, strong green. I really love these, and you can definitely see the shifts in the side, because the side of the packaging is cut like diamond, kind of like there's triangles on the side, so you can really strongly see the shifts. Really recommend Vanity Cosmetics. They're a wonderful company. They do a lot of glitter, so if you're not into glitter that much, you probably won't be that interested, but they also have the Diamond Flakes, so I highly recommend that. And all of their glitters have a base in them, so you don't need a primer or anything. You can just apply them and they'll stick to your eye without all the fallout and stuff like that. So highly recommend you check out their website. I will link that down below as well. But let's go ahead and get started. So I have you guys zoomed in real nice and tight here. So you can see everything on my eye. Of course, our eye space is going to be very different from each other. I tend to have a lot of room up here. I don't know if everyone will have that. Of course, you will have maybe possibly hooded eyes or whatever, but you can always make this work for you for sure. I'm going to start priming my eye using the Milani eyeshadow primer. There's like no room to show you guys things here, but I'm definitely going to just take a little bit of that on my finger and apply that on my lid. I'm almost done that one. I cannot wait to have that as an empty. And then I'm going to be starting with my Urban Decay anti-aging eyeshadow primer potion, and I'm looking forward to trying that. I've never tried that one out, and being that I have mature skin, it's not getting any younger, let's be honest, I wanted to try that, and I think it has a nice colorful base to it, like a little bit of a brightening base to it. It's not sheer like this one is. This is very similar to the just regular, the original primer potion. So I really love this, and it's only $13 Canadian. Might be a little bit more because I've had this for about a year and a half ish. So I think what I'm going to do is just start by setting underneath my brow, and I'm going to go in with the shade A4 and B2. So I'm going to mix this one here and this one here. So I get a little bit of neutral, a little bit of warmth. I just want to make sure that it's nice and set underneath my eye, but I don't want it to be too pink, you know? So I'll mix them first and set that here, just pressing it ever so lightly in with the brush. And I'm using a very loose brush that has a rounded edge, and the ferrule is not pinched. This way you get less pressure and less accuracy, and I want that because I want to make sure that when I'm pressing and I'm blending, it's just spreading the eyeshadow out as far as possible, not saturating a single area. So as you can see, that color is very, very light, but it just brings the softest amount of warmth and purpley raspberry to the eye. And then I'm going to take A4, which is that neutral shade, and I'm just going to press underneath my brow bone a little bit. I think I picked up some of that purple again. Whoops. Oh well. And I'm just going to set underneath there. And then I'm going to take A1, which is a stark white, and dab that off onto a Kleenex. And I'm just going to put that underneath my brow bone as well, just to brighten up that area a little bit. But again, I just don't want it to be like completely whitened. I just want it to be lighter. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I think what we're going to do now is deepen up the outer corner just a little bit. I'm not going to go in with that super deep color yet, but we're going to go in with D5, I think. Maybe, yeah, D5, I think, for a little bit here. This one, they look very similar, those two shades, but we're going to take this farther one. And I'm going to use a brush that has a pinched ferrule but also has longer, looser bristles. This one is more for accuracy. It's got shorter bristles and the ferrule is also pinched. You can see the bristles are very, very short in comparison to the other one. This one will give you a looser application. This one will be more like secured to one place, if that makes sense. So I want to use the looser one right now because I just want to blow out the outer corner. So we'll take a bit of D5 ever so lightly, and I'm just going to press it first, just so I can kind of get an idea of where I want the eyeshadow to be placed. And I love having a pulled up outer corner because I have my eyes naturally kind of slightly droop down, like ever so slightly. And so for me, I've always like a snatched outer corner. I just like it to be uplifted so that it gives the impression of cat eyes, and I feel like that's a super flattering look for me. If that's not something you're interested in, you can definitely make this a more circular look so that it's not so, you know, so I'm basically just keep pressing ever so lightly. This is a pigment palette, so it's easier to press the shadows where you want them than it is to blend the shadows where you want them. So I'm just pressing the shadows in place to where I want them to go, and then eventually I'll deepen up that outer corner. But right now I'm just adding slowly but surely and pressing in, and then I'm just going to take the brush end and hold the brush at the very tip of the end and just sort of blend the outer portion, little circular motions, windshield wiper motions, until I'm happy with the blend. Now I'm gonna be tearing. I have been having allergies like crazy lately. I'm sure you can tell just by my talking. I'm like super nasally and stuff. So just please disregard. But yeah, I will be tearing, so probably the outer portion of my eye will disappear at some point, but we'll just pretend it looks amazing. Thank you. And I'm gonna wipe the tip off of my bristles and then just go back over this so it's more like a cleaner brush. You can also use a color changing sponge, but I'm too lazy to grab mine, and it's the same shade anyhow, so just lightly going over that. I'm loving that color. It looks so good, and I feel like it really deepened up, added a lot of that warmth that we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll start on the deepening portion of the outer corner. Alright, I think I'm happy with that. I might just blend this part out a little bit more, but I think what we're going to do now is go ahead and work on deepening this outer portion. So I'm going to change the brush up again and go to this littler brush, and I'm going to mix in D3 first because I want to use this one down here. No, that's D3 right here. This is the deeper shade, and then I'm going to probably use this one as well to really get that depth in the outer corner if I don't find that D3 gives me enough depth. So let's just try this one and see. It's very flaky again, it kicks up a lot, so I'm just going to dab it onto my Kleenex in front of me here and then press that onto the eye. Now keep in mind again, these are pressed pigments, so pressing is always best, but with a shimmery pigment it is better to sort of press and drag, like really tiny little movements, because the more you move, the more the streak, and then you'll get those really weird lines if your eyelid moves. Like, I try not to do that because I have, like I said, mature lids now. So anything, when you have any kind of excess skin on your eyelids, press and move is always the best, especially to get that depth. And I feel like it's giving me the depth that I'm looking for. So I'm happy with that. Now whatever's left on this, I'm just going to turn the bristles over and slowly put that into the crease. I think I kind of like where that is, just about halfway. When I have resting bitch face, my hoods of my eyes really go over, and so I like to go up a little bit more, but I'm going to add a little bit after once I see where everything is, and especially when the Vanity Diamond Flakes go on, I go quite high so that when I get that growly face, you can still see it, like it doesn't take everything away. So I'm just going to press that again into the outer crease, and then I'm going to go back to the fluffier brush that has that other shade on it, and I'm just going to blow that out again with the two shades together. And just pull it a little bit more into the center part of my eye. Because I kind of kept it a little bit closer to the outer portion. Now I just want to drag it over a little bit and blend that out a bit more. So really, really happy with how that's looking so far. I can feel that tearing happening. All right, let's move on to the next step. For the next step, basically what I want to do is just throw that lid shade all over the rest of the eye. I like the depth of the outer portion. It's not black, it's not too dark, although I love using black every single time. But because I'm trying to focus on my Pan That palette, it doesn't have a black in there that I like to use. So I use the other shades in the palette to sort of deepen up the single shades, or I'll grab one from another palette. But right now, I just want to use the Norvina ABH palette volume 5 because I feel like if I can recreate this entire look using just one palette and you guys have it, then you have pretty much everything you need for the look. So rather than deepening it up, I think what I'm going to do is go into the shade E3, which is right up here, which is so beautiful. I think I'm going to take a flat paddle brush. This one has synthetic bristles. Every single eyeshadow brush that I use has synthetic bristles because I think I'm allergic to natural hair bristles. It makes my eyes tear constantly. Right now I know it's dust because I need to get some cleaning done. But we're going to go ahead and use a flat paddle brush. This is from Sedona Lace. I absolutely love Sedona Lace brushes. I highly recommend them. But I'm going to go ahead and take that product. I'm just going to pick it up slowly because it is very flaky. You can see right here, very flaky. And I'm just going to stamp and pull just a little bit at a time because I don't want to make a huge mess. If you go in and just start like constantly pressing it and pulling it up, everything that's on your bristles are going to fall off onto your face. So the easiest way to go is to slowly stamp and press. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just dragging it all over my entire lid, trying to get into every nook and freaking cranny, man. I got so many folds in my eyes, like anyway. So I'm just gonna press this in, and now I want to shape the look. I want to shape the color of this eyeshadow. So I grabbed a little bit more, and I'm going to take it from my inner corner and I'm going to drag it up higher than my crease, because when I have this, I want to still kind of be able to see the color. So I'm just dragging it. It's going to meet a little bit of that crease color that we have there, and I'm just going to pull it over and then like flick it a little bit so that it sort of blends into the other shade. And then I'm going to take all the excess color off of this shorter brush, and I'm just going to press along the edge of it, just that color, so that it blends in with the other colors that we had there. So you can have a look at the eye color like this, see how that looks for you. I hope I'm making sense to you guys. This is a relatively easy look to create, and I love this eyeshadow palette. It really, really recreated the same tones and colors, and they're more vibrant and sticky, and there's more mattes, and it just makes me so happy that I have this. And I'm okay getting rid of the Vice one. I'm just gonna miss Grasshopper, but I think I have a backup anyways, so like of something else in another shade. But I think I might try and do a video where I dupe shades that are in there that I really like and try and find them in my collection. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But yeah, this tearing issue is like the real business. I'm telling you, it's horrible. I hate it. I love this. I love where we're at right now. So the next thing we're gonna do is the Vanity Flakes. So let's go ahead and get started on those. Okay, you guys, you're gonna need a glitter glue for this. So I'm gonna actually take my glitter glue from Too Faced. I absolutely love this. It's my very favorite glitter glue. I do have 2 backups from other brands. I also have a backup of this because I freaking love it. It's really, really, really good, and it's never failed me, just like the Urban Decay Primer Potion never failed me. So I don't really branch out, but I decided that I would get the NYX one because I've heard good things about that, but I'm really picky. When I find an item that I like, I'm very tunnel visioned and stubborn. I like to stick with what I know. I don't know why. I can't just like play around and have fun with other like different kind of brands, but in my mind it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? I'm just gonna try and find I think these are gonna be, these will be good brushes. Okay, so you're going to want either your finger or a brush or whatever to apply the little bit of glitter glue. And I'm going to use this Avon brush. I've had this for a dog's age or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. I've had this for a long time, and it's just one that I just don't care about, but I keep it because it's good for stuff like this. I just noticed on one of my eyes, it's not up as high as the other side, so I just want to quickly bring that up a little bit before I put these. Okay, that's better. Okay, so what we're gonna do is take the glitter glue, and then I'm just going to soak up the edge of my brush. You can use your fingertip, that's totally fine. And I want this to be on the center of the lid, so I'm just gonna press this so that I'm trying not to pick up a bunch of the color, because when I was doing this with the Urban Decay one, all of those eyeshadows wanted to come up so easily. So I'm just going to bring this up to the crease and then pat it with my finger a little bit, not too much though. And then I don't want to breathe around them because I'm just going to blow them all away, so I gotta be so careful. But these are the Vanity Flakes, so we're going to go ahead and not breathe on them. Take a brush, just any kind of brush. Just make sure it's a paddle brush. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to talk that much because I don't want them to fly away. And you just press these absolutely gorgeous flakes. It gets a little messy, but I'm telling you, it's totally worth it. Is that not stunningly gorgeous? Oh my gosh. So then as you go back and forth into the flakes, it will eventually get easier to pick up with that brush. I recommend not using the same brush that you have the glue on, because obviously then you're gonna have to go back into the glue and it's gonna cross whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. I like having separate brushes for everything. So yeah, and then you just press and paste wherever you want those to be. I actually want to put a couple more right here. So let's go into the lid, grab a few from there. All right, I love that. I think that looks so nice. So we're gonna leave that as that is right now. It just adds so much more to the look, and it gives that total reflection, and you can really see all of the different colors and dimension of the lid, and it looks so awesome when you have like the liner or the lashes or whatever on. It just, oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. Okay, before I start screaming and blowing these Vanity Flakes all over, yeah, let's do the other eye. I'll do that on screen for you guys. So again, just gonna apply some of this glue. And I always go in with a little bit first and decide after how much I want. Because I don't want it to look so different from the other side. This one has quite a bit more on it, so I might have to add a little bit, and that's where the playing game is you have to sort of see like where do they fall, add a little bit more on whichever side you want. And then just press a few extra so they're a little more, and also too, like the light will hit them differently, so you like want to also like move around and like close your eyes and just see how everything is. I'm just gonna add a touch more here, but it's just a playing game. Like you got to play around with it, look around, check the different lights, like look outside, look in your mirrors. Like I know that sounds like a lot, but when you go out you want to make sure that your Vanity Flakes are put in the right spot so that you don't have like a bald chunk. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to make sure you double check that you have it all the same, like this side is matching this side. Yeah, it just, oh gosh, it's so good. It's so good. I gotta cover this lid because I keep talking and I'm making a slight little mess, but these are so amazing and they come in so many shades. Love these so much. And what I love, the fact that you guys had requested this look, because these are in my project pans, so yeah, I get to use them, which is so great. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up underneath my eyes and do the rest of my face makeup, and then we'll come back and finish the rest of the look. I probably will do a tiny little bit of a black liner and some smoked black, like black eyeshadow pressed into the liner, just to give myself a little more of a lift on the outer corner. And then when I come back, after I have the top part done, we'll go ahead and work on the bottom part of the eye so you can see the finished look. Okay, so you guys are really good and close again. The lashes are on. The little bit of liner I put on, like just a little bit in the outer corner. On this side, it started to come away because I was tearing already anyway, so I just put my lashes on and called it a day. I also have a little bit of mascara on, and then I pinched everything together. So this is what it looks like right now. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started on the bottom portion of the eye look. I'm really excited. I love how the top portion is looking. If you guys want a video on brows, let me know. I didn't include it because I didn't feel like everyone would want that. So I just did the eye look. So if you guys are interested in brows, just let me know and I can do that another time. So I think I'm going to add a tiny, tiny, tiny dab of eyeshadow primer to underneath my eyes. Just a little smidgen because I do have concealer and stuff underneath there, but I don't know, it gets dried out when I put the powder, so I just want to add a little. What we're going to do is start focusing on these kind of brushes, little pencil brushes and a little short, stubby, short shader brush. And I'm going to go ahead and take this E5 very, very deep shade with a little bit maybe of D3, but I'm going to try E5 first and see how that goes. And again, because pressed pigments, you want to press them. I feel like it's the best rather than dragging. Once it's on there, of course, you can like mush it together, but I always try to like press them in because I feel like they look a lot better. Like it just applies a lot better. And then I'm going to go in with one of my short brushes. And I think I'm going to go in with D5, which is right here. I have it upside down. I'm so sorry. It looks like it's actually C5, but it's D5. And I'm going to blend that out a little bit. So press and slightly drag a little. Of course, I'm going to try to connect it to the outer corner, but it's probably just going to tear off anyways, so. And then I'm going to go back in with another short shader and take that E5 color again and just really blend that out and bring that depth back. And take all of that off, like wipe the brush off and go in with A4, which is the nude shade in the palette, and I'm just going to blend underneath all of that. So I still keep the purpley color, like the raspberry color, but it still blends out a little bit into the rest of the skin. I'm just going to do the other eye and I'll be right back to finish that off. So now let's focus on the inner portion of the eye here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of A3, which is a really nice bright shiny color. It reflects a lot brighter than the lid one. The lid definitely reflects light, but I just want to go in with a small brush and press that in. It definitely looks very, very similar to the lid shade, but it's just a tiny bit more cool tone and a little bit brighter. And then I'm going to take the, of course, the small shader and just bring that darkness and blend it into that shade. So that's pretty much it for the eye. I'm just going to finish up my lower lash mascara, and then I'll show you the full look zoomed out. So this is the eye look complete, except for the inner corner and the brow bone shade. I kind of want to put a little sparkle there, but I don't know. I guess I could use a couple of these shadows that are in here. I definitely need something to bring that inner corner just a little bit of brightness. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to test a couple of these shades here first and see. I kind of like that. I'm going to use C2 for the inner corner, which is right here. And just going to dab that really lightly on the inner corner just to bring a little bit of light to it. Oh yeah, that's really good. I like that. Definitely like that shade. It's so pretty. And I think I'm going to do B1 under my brow bone, which is right here. And I'm just going to take a different short shader that's not as short as the other one, like a short paddle brush, and I'm just going to take the tiny bit of flakes and just apply that to underneath my brow. Nothing too crazy, just stamp it and then drag it, because again, like pressed pigments. Now that's everything except for lower lash mascara. I was going to do this off camera, but I'm going to show you what I'm using. And for that, I'm going to use my MAC Giga Black Lash Mascara. It's such a good mascara. You guys know how I feel about MAC. And I also want to add a liner to the inner portion of my eye. And I'll show you the one that I used actually. It was a ColourPop one, but again, I'm not going to be buying any more really from ColourPop. If I use up my liners, I might buy the liners again, but I'm just kind of tired of ColourPop, honestly. It's too much waste, too many things coming out. Everything I have in my palettes are pretty much the same, so kind of over it, honestly. And they get you because the prices are what you think is cheaper, but when you really factor in, because their eyeshadow palettes have really small eyeshadows in them, like they're much smaller than regular ones, I think they get you with that where it seems cheaper, but it's because it's like much less product. I don't know. So I'm going to use the cream gel liner in the shade Piggy Bank. And on my lip, I have Smoked Purple from MAC, because again, this is in one of my projects and I want to finish it this year. And I'm not going to be wearing this color to work, so I'm going to be using it in some of my videos. If you don't have a purple, you can use a black or one of a skin tone shade, like you know how they have those neutral ones that are to match with your skin shade. I think NYX has those. You can definitely try that as well. But that's pretty much it. This is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was a good tutorial for you. I don't normally do a lot of tutorials anymore on my channel. I used to do them years ago when I first started my channel, but I had stopped because they weren't super popular and everyone was doing tutorials. Now there's not that many people who do them, so just with like the own particular palette that comes out, then they'll do a tutorial with the new palette. But using older eyeshadows or just creating a specific look, I don't see that a lot. I guess maybe I'm not looking for them, but yeah. I just feel like, I hope you like this. I feel like it's a good look. I think it's something everyone can do. It's fairly easy. Most people have purples in their collection, and the Vanity Flakes make the eyeshadow just look so expensive and so good. I love it. I think it looks fancy. It's a lot for some people, but for me, it's not. I love this kind of look. I would actually wear this to work, not the lipstick, but I would just put a nude on, and that wouldn't bother me at all. My work wouldn't mind, I don't think. But I truly, maybe they would, I don't know, but I truly love this. I think this is awesome. I really hope you enjoyed. I'll just zoom in so you guys can see here the final look. Again, sorry about the tearing. I know this isn't ideal, but I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everybody who requested me doing this tutorial. I really hope you enjoy it. If you want anything else, just let me know down below. I'm happy to do that. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would love it if you would stay, and I will talk to you again in the next one. Bye!